Tell us how big Kyle Lowry's shoes are. I mean, how do they go about replacing him?
Well, they're huge, right? You're not going to replace Kyle Lowry. What you're going to try to do is, you're going to go in a different direction. Now, part of that's been somewhat anticipated, right? Fred VanVleet has been learning the game under Kyle. He's been working alongside of Kyle, and he's certainly a player that we've seen that in Kyle's absences, he's played at an all-star level, and playing with Kyle, he's been, as good and able to contribute in so many different ways. So, I think with Fred there, you kind of have that easy transition. But quite honestly, you're not feeling Kyle's shoes. He's just a unique player. He's a special player. He's a guy that won games. He could win games without making a shot. He influences so many different things on the floor, and he's going to be missed. And like I said, I think the Raptors now, have kind of a framework and a plan in which direction they want to go in, and some good pieces to begin that process.
Well, Leo, do you think there was ever any chance of Lowry staying in Toronto, or is it just that the team has gone in such a different direction in the last couple of seasons that it wouldn't have made sense for where he's at in his career?
I think there definitely was a chance. I think this issue is pretty much more financial than really anything else. When you want to do kind of one of those legacy deals, there's got to be a lot of compromise on both sides. And if you're Kyle Lowry, if you can get $90 million at the age of 35, 36, you're going to jump on that. Why wouldn't you? And so I think it's a situation where it wasn't in the Raptors' best interest moving forward to spend that kind of money. And for Kyle, it's a situation where he's got a great relationship with Masai and Bobby Webster and the entire organization, and they work together to facilitate a sign and trade and get him to where he wanted to be. And if you can't do a legacy deal, I think that's the way you want to do it, right? You want to end on a real high note as far as the relationship goes, and that's something that we haven't seen really happen. But I think there was always an outside chance. Do you know what I think really happened? Back when the trade deadline was up, a lot of people got scared of Kyle's ask for this year. He made it clear what he wanted his numbers, and Miami was one of those teams at the trade deadline. If you remember, everybody was talking about being a potential suitor for Kyle. And then think about what happened since that time. All the teams that were rumored to be chasing Kyle, Miami, Lakers, what happened to them in the playoffs? They all fizzled, right? And everybody during the whole time during the playoffs was saying, oh, sure, okay, and you didn't want to trade Kyle. Okay, who'd you want to keep? Who was worth it for you to keep and not go get Kyle now that you're getting knocked out? And then another thing happened during the playoffs. Chris Paul, a guy at 36 years old, having a great season, took his team right to the NBA Finals, and I think that all of a sudden that age factor started to become a little less of a hindrance, with teams looking around and going, okay, we could have had him. He might have made a difference. Chris Paul's doing it. Okay, let's take a chance. So, I even spoke to Kyle during the playoffs, and I said, you're in a great situation right now. You're sitting at home watching, and your value's going up by the day. And he couldn't say no. That's exactly what was happening.
Leo, talk to us about player development for the Raptors, because I trumpet this all the time. I think it's off the charts. And so when you were talking about Freddie earlier, I suddenly got a flashback to those images of when he didn't play, how he was basically an assistant coach, so he can be a playing coach like Kyle was. And certainly when you see their recent draft picks, they fooled a lot of people with number 4 overall, but then you understand that they have a specific plan that's a little maybe a little more wide-ranging than others. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And, San Antonio used to be kind of the team that everybody looked at for that. And the Raptors, I always remind people, when they won a championship, they were in development at the same time. I mean, you think about it. Fred, OG, obviously he wasn't able to play, in the championship. But Pascal, Norm, all these guys were part of the development, and they were being groomed and brought along at the same time as they won a championship. So the Raptors, with their 905, and it really comes down to you have to have that development piece like the 905 where the guys are going back and forth. And I'll tell you what, the pandemic has really done a number on that, because you just haven't been able to like with a Malachi Flynn, haven't been able to do a lot of things they did with Fred because of the inability to play off of the G League. But, the Raptors have really done a great job of having guys going back and forth, developing, and the big component of that is great scouting. You have to be able to find those second-round picks, those undrafted guys that a lot of people are late first-rounders that a lot of people are overlooking. And just same as picking Scotty Barnes. A lot of people, and not in a negative way. I wasn't a huge proponent of Suggs taking him at 4. I heard some people saying he's going to be a top 5 NBA player. Well, you know what? I'll send you a check when that happens, because I don't see that happening. But I see the potential of a Scotty Barnes, that he could be incredible in this league, especially with his body, his makeup. You look at the players that have come out of Florida State, how they do. So, if you want to have that development component, you can't be afraid of taking chances, and you got to trust your system to take a guy like that and get him where you believe he can get to. If you don't have that component, then you're wasting a pick. Then you just go with the guy that everybody says you should go with. And the Raptors march to a different drummer.
So, Leo, when you look at who's left in this free agency class, and maybe it's not the best one, but do you see any other potential targets for the Raptors? Do they need to do more? Do they potentially have some trades up their sleeves, you think? Or is there a need for that? Like, where do they go now that they know that Kyle's gone and they have maybe some time now to figure things out?
Well, we haven't got the final word on the Miami deal, right? I mean, it's a sign and trade, and everybody's hearing, okay, you got this guy and you got this guy, but nobody's saying you got this guy. So, you got to figure that there's still some conversations going on, maybe another team involved, trying to figure out the best way to make the sign and trade work. So, I don't believe that's completed, and there's been a lot of rumors with Dragic and where he might end up. If there is another team involved. So, like I said, that's not a done deal. And the thing with Masai, and they do their business right. When I say that is you don't hear a lot of rumors. Like anything you've heard about the sign and trade or anything you've heard with anybody else, it's not coming from them. It's not coming from within this organization. So, there's no leaking. There's no rumors being thrown out there. They just go about their business in a real quiet way. So I think there will be more. The Raptors do have a need up front. They're going to have some more size. Although I think they're heading in a direction to be extremely versatile with the players they have, where they have players on the floor that can literally guard 1 through 5. They're kind of heading in that direction. But obviously it takes a lot more pieces. So I think that you have to wait and see what bigs that they are they gonna secure Khem Birch? Are they gonna lock up Gillespie? Are they gonna find some other bigs? So there's a lot more to be done. I don't think the free agency is by any means over for this team.